Hello. Thanks for being here. Thanks for joining. Thanks for subscribing. I need one more subscription for 300, so I think that's exciting. I don't know what happens, but I think I can go live on my phone. I don't know. So thank you for watching, listening, sharing, and subscribing, and for being your awesome seeking self. Okay, I'm going to take a pause. I'm always so excited to get on here that I actually forget to take a pause before I even come on. So I'm glad we can do that together. And you can also do some sound. All right. So today's video is going to be about what I call the goddess codes. Okay. Something's happening on social media. I don't know if you guys have noticed it, but what's happening is another simple step of division, especially between those who are on the seemingly same trajectory or the same path of discovery. I know that certain social media platforms are being tampered with so that communication with each other is limited, and even possible connection disruption, like with your actual video or whatever you're trying to put out there, or actually with each other. This is part of the programming. So it's been solidified by so many outside sources. I already knew, but it's a triple a triple goddess affirmation that pretty much all the magic, and it is magic, and that was even something for me to be like, no, really, this is magic. There are only certain reasons to do ritual, to do mind control, to do emotional control. There's a reason, and the key word is control. And as long as we are unaware of the control that we have, the magic that we have, then these outside forces, so to speak, dark ones, can continue what they do. So some of the things that I've said in other videos, but I'm going to repeat it again, because what has been really coming up are words like the cabal and the elite. So the Sibyls, the Sabalias, Sabal, Cabal, Bible, all right? They all come from the feminine divine information. And the original information was stored actually in Ethiopia. Okay? And everything that we see today, and I mean everything, comes from the goddess, comes from the Sibyls, comes from the Sibyls, Sabalias, the prophetesses. Okay? And we're now in the season of sacrifice, spring. The reason why spring is so important is because during the time of the matriarchs, the women had the, I would say, major influence, because it wasn't necessarily control. Maybe it was. From what I'm seeing, the matriarchal original plan or energy was not what we see today. And it's also not many of the stories we've heard, because we hear about sacrifices, sacrificing children, and that type of thing. Well, that came after the energy of the feminine divine. That was after. Those were not things that we did. We did not do those things. We didn't need to. So it stemmed from the woman's period. The blood sacrifice comes from the woman's period. Period. And the magic and the ritual therein became stolen, usurped, and tainted. Okay. What was one of the things I was going to mention? I just remembered. Okay. So this leads me into the political era right now. So I am sad to say that I heard somebody that I think is quite intelligent, but is also masculine, speak about their opinion on abortion. Here's what everyone's missing. First of all, the people in power don't care about children. They don't care about people in general. We see this across the world. If there was really deep concern about abortion and children, there wouldn't be sex trafficking going on. There wouldn't be the amount of abuse that happens. And as an adopted person, and I'll say it again, it's a gaslight to say to people, you're so lucky that your mom didn't get an abortion. That's not the case. Because your opinion of life doesn't supersede other people's experiences. Quality of life matters. You know, in this country, we have the affordability on many levels for family and children. Across the world, it's not the same. And when we talk about suffering and pain, life includes that. And we live in a world where people are not interested actually in helping other people in the way that would sustain the requirements to not even speak about things like abortion. It wouldn't even be an issue because women don't just get pregnant. And it really bothers me that we live in a world that it is all her responsibility. All her responsibility. And then the men that are supportive of pro-life usually are good, caring fathers. Because when it comes down to life, and we just saw this, and we're seeing it, there is no general care for people. They don't care about the babies. They don't care about that. This is about controlling the woman. Is this not, this is all about controlling the woman. That energy, that feminine divine energy. Because the flip side is no one's talking about what happens to these fetuses when they're aborted. What do the hospitals do with that? What do these clinics do with that? I'll tell you what they do with it. It goes onto the black market. A lot of these high-end clinics and hospitals are doing bad things with these fetuses. Do you know there was a time there used to be baby placenta in hair products? This was in the 90s. Well, where'd they get that from? And then suddenly it wasn't in hair products anymore. You know why? Because it's worth too much money. So, to me, that's the flip side of this whole agenda. Because if there was general care about children and babies, this whole vaccine, this whole jab agenda wouldn't have happened. I mean, it's just when it comes to virtue signaling and it's not about the technicalities. It's about quality of life. And if you're needing an abortion, somewhere there's missing quality of life, protection, true support. And I just want to clarify also that there are not women out there who use abortion as birth control. There's the day after pill now, and most birth control is made for the woman. So, to me, those men who are really against abortion or are pro-life or think that women need to have better choices and that it's about her, you're right. But it's in a way that needs to be looked at as, where are the male's responsibility in this? Because some of the comments I saw were, it's not the baby's fault if they're a rape victim baby. It just really bothers me that there's no real therapy or support or understanding for taking care of that situation. Like, women should not be getting raped. Incest, acts of violence against women. When that shifts, the whole story about abortion would change. And the support of those children once they're born, a real support. I mean, I just feel like it is a virtue signaling, because me, myself, I've never been pregnant. And I've had friends and family members who've gotten abortions and wished that I could have talked them into giving me the baby, working something out to where I could raise the baby. But that's my perception. Because even as an adult child of adoption, there's plenty of times that if I had been given the choice probably to come into this world, logically knowing how really kind of fucked up it is, maybe I would have been okay with not coming here. I wouldn't have known. I just think that we project virtues onto people and onto ideals without looking at the flip side of things. If we want to be virtuistic, we need to confront some of these hospitals and clinics and ask them, because in the old world, if you were to have an abortion or lose your baby, there was a whole ceremony. There was a whole ceremony. It wasn't like you walked into a clinic and then you went home. That's not how it went. And the fact that we have a system set up like that is obviously anti-woman. Because there's no responsibility for the male at all. It just really bothers me. And I really see this as part of the agenda to silence and basically usurp the energy of the feminine divine. Because the feminine divine energy is the life, blood energy of the planet. Life, blood. Because what does a woman do? She gives life and she also gives blood. Okay? So, as we're seeing this happen politically, I'm seeing also, like I said, on social media and those type of things, where there's actually like an active anti uniting happening. And so I just want to say, to those who are sharing the truth and are helping to teach, it is in my over and understanding that questions are needed, dialogue is needed, and actually giving others an opportunity to explain. And we ask for apologies when apologies are necessary, not because of our perceptions. So, and we uplift each other. Since I've been on social media, back in the day when I was still on Facebook, the one thing that I definitely noticed is that there is an issue with us actually uplifting each other consistently. Even if you're slighted or disappointed, when it comes to women, uplifting other women and supporting other women, it is, I feel like I can see part of the agenda happening there too, where it's about being right or having feelings validated. And having feelings validated is very important. However, we are responsible for validating our own feelings as well. Okay? And so with that, I say I am not against those. I support women, period, and their choices. If they are able to make a choice, that's what I want for them. And I support protection from abuse and violence upon women. As I mentioned in my last video, football games, sports events, certain religious beliefs are not supportive of women. And I just see this as a little extra on top of trying to distract from or manipulate the feminine divine energy for nefarious purposes. Because really, if our government and politics really cared about babies and the lives of children and women's bodies, we would have a whole different system. Completely different system. Way more education and way more involvement with people and each other. It would not be the way it is. Well, that's my short video for today. I'll do more. I'll go into other stuff in the next video. But that's my share for today. So before we go, nice deep breath. And again, thank you for being here. Thank you for being you and for being here. All right. Until next time, take care.